keep thinking I'm going to say it wrong. Well, my name's Joe, and we're going to go ahead and do a lot of this. But if you guys don't mind, please go down the row and introduce yourselves. And the character you play.
That's Hunter. I'm Bob Gorman, and I play a lot of different stuff. Lately, mostly a sidekick character, Bone Snapper, the cave troll.
I'm Brad Roberts, and I'm Jizmac the Gusher, drummer of Gwar.
I'm Jameson Land. I am Beefcake the Mighty. I play bass.
And I'm Kane Hodder, and I play Jason. No, I'm Don Dracula, which I play Sleazy P. Martini.
I'm Brett Ferguson, Pustulus Maximus, lead guitar and cultivator of misery.
I think I'm in the wrong room. I'm sorry, No, actually, sorry. My name is Matt Gwar, and I play Gwar's bad guy, Salmor Destructo.
So we got time for questions. We got people walking around for some questions. Who has questions? This is your opportunity. Right here in the front. Do we even need a microphone? Can you hear him? Yeah. Stand up and scream.
I serve no purpose.
I still love you. No, haven't seen you often.
Can you tell us how you guys got involved in the AV Club? I've seen the videos on YouTube, your cover of Wayward Song and all that stuff. Awesome.
Was that our publicist, John?
I believe it was our publicist, John Freeman.
Yeah, usually should answer the questions you have the answer to. But yeah, we got it through our publicist, John Freeman, got us on board with the AV Club. They started just requesting bands, and there was a couple guys at the AV Club in particular who were just big Gwar fans, and they wanted to have us. And that's why we're one of the few that's actually been able to have a reoccurring role on that program. Because most of the bands, they just do it once and that's it. But Chicago has been really kind to Gwar, so it's cool to be able to return and do Riot Fest every year and the AV Club.
Yeah, we just finished up the new AV Club, which should come out before the election, so there'll be a nice surprise there with the content.
For those who don't know, AV Club is part of the Onion newspaper, and they do this thing called Undercover, and they get bands in there to cover other people's songs. They have a list, I think it's like 25 songs, and it's first come, first serve.
We ignore those. We ignore all of it.
We do now, but the very first year that we did it, we were the last on the list. We didn't have any choice. It was going to be that Kansas song, Carry On My Wayward Son, which turned out to be like the best song on the list. We were lucky. Yeah.
Okay, cool. What other questions? Next question, please. Who has the next question? Right here.
Vape your own EQs from Matt Baker.
Do I vape it?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. We've got a whole.
He bathes in it. He bathes in it nightly.
I'm kind of no gone with it. Awesome.
Yes, it is. We have 8 flavors of vape juice called Gwar Fluids. For sale at MountBakerVapor.com. We have, like you said, Gizmoglobin, and Spew, and Bloodbath. Pretty cool.
Yep, he's got it.
Go down the list. What else do we have? I don't even know how many we have.
Antarctic Ice.
We've got German chocolate beefcake, Antarctic Ice, Gwar Y4, Immortal Corruptor, and Key Slime Pie.
Delicious.
That's what's in this.
Next question. Well, how did you all, because Gwar has changed so much. Members have left, some members have stayed, right? So why don't we take time and give us the history of how each one of you got into the position you're in right now?
I started as a Gwar fan, I guess.
I guess.
I liked Gwar better than anything else I was
It was
doing.
okay.
And I was in art school, and I hated art school, and I saw Gwar, and I really liked what that was, so I decided to intern with them. And the more I did that, the less I wanted to be in art school, and the more I knew that art school wasn't going to give me a career, but Gwar could. So I did less of art school and more of Gwar, and so I've been involved for 20 5 years at this point, so that's my story.
I think I was painting houses or laying bricks or something, and I was in a bunch of local bands in Richmond, you know, out of high school and into early college, and I got a call from Mike Bishop, who was the original Beefcake, the mighty bass player of Gwar, just because, you know, they had seen my other bands and got an audition for Gwar, beat out a few folks, and I never left. It's the greatest job you can, it's the hardest work you'll ever do, trying not to have a job. So, that's pretty much my story.
I was friends with Dave Brocky through his then girlfriend. We're actually,
They needed a roommate.
Dave needed a roommate, and I moved in with Dave in I think 2008, and I lived with him until my dad passed away, and I had to move back. I'm actually from Louisville, Kentucky, so I had to move back to Louisville after that happened, and then Casey, or their bass player, quit, and Dave called me and told me to come be the new Beefcake the Mighty. That was about 2011.
He fit the costume, so
Yeah, I
I
was
just
bad.
had to use him.
I didn't even play bass, guitar player, but I was bad, so they gave me the job.
Back in '85, I was working at Lakeside Appliance, and there was a couple employees that worked there with me. It turned out to be Chuck Varga, who was this executioner, and Mike Delaney, who was kind of the original Cardinal Sin, also known as the Executioner. But they were working at a place called the Dairy, and which was a kind of a art commune flop house sort of squat. And so they were saying, you know, hey, this guy Hunter Jacks is working on a movie, and you know, people are going down there and working on stuff and jamming out and on art, and you want to come over and help out and do some sometime? And I said, I haven't got anything else going on. You know, I graduated art school and was doing the classic 1 year later, you know, just doing a regular job. And so I decided to go down there and check it out, and I got involved and started making props. And then after a couple of attempts to cast the character of Sluggo P. Martini, I got to be that band manager character by changing the name to Sleazy P. Martini, and that's been pretty much it from then on. I just kept on working with them.
Hey, yeah, it's funny about the Beefcake story, because I asked, when Casey Orr quit, I asked Dave to be Beefcake, and he literally said I wasn't bad enough. And, but I'm gonna show him. Anyway, no, actually, I knew Corey Smoot really well, and that was kind of inadvertently how I got to meet the rest of the band. You know, I played in other bands around Richmond, and Richmond's a very small community, so naturally, like, we would get to know each other over our, you know, careers or whatever. And after Corey Smoot passed away, you know, everybody was kind of familiar with me. You know, obviously I hung out with him the most, but you know, I got a call maybe a few months after he passed to come try out, and it was very bittersweet. But since I thought it was important that they would keep that role in the family, like, rather than get somebody they didn't know, so I sat in my room for, I don't know, I actually only had 3 days to prepare for the audition, so I just learned every song note for note, went in there and made sure I wasn't about to let anybody else have that job. So little did I know that would be a mistake I would live to regret.
And then you tuned your guitar to the wrong key, so it was all the wrong notes.
All the wrong notes, yeah. And then they thought that was good improvisation, so. No, I think this is one of the best jobs in the world you can have, you know, you get to spray blood and cum on children. You know. All the shows are all ages, it's great. So, yeah, it was bittersweet to have to lose a friend to get in this position, but, you know, I'm trying my best to honor Corey and Dave and do a good job in the band, and I love these guys.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate that. Anyways,
You're gay, aren't you?
No, I'm just drunk. You're on X.
yeah, I guess I was a fan at the time, and the band started when I was in high school, so I was like, of course, like, man, this is the coolest thing ever. Check it out. There's a big cyborg killing another guy, and there's the dinosaur. It's amazing. So, of course, yeah, I was like going to the shows and seeing these guys, and I was actually in the alleyway of the 930 Club, the old 930 Club in Washington, D.C., and I saw this guy skating around in the back, and we were like, we're from Virginia Beach, please get us into the show, we can't get into this sold-out show. He's like, all right, kid, give me that. All right. So we went into the show, and I met him and Hunter, and from then on, I was just like always kind of that kid hanging around, like, hey, that's that guy. So I went and started interning with Hunter Jackson, and we were drawing comics and making props and stuff, and he just was like, yeah, Gwar will suck you in and suck your soul. and he was like warning me for a minute. They were like, hey, you should stay away. And he was like, no, come back on it. We'll get you here. So I've never left. I've been here since then. So thanks. Soulless. Just soul sucks. See, just totally.
And so to catch some people up who were not as aware that Gwar is more of an art collective than it is, and it's a rock band, but behind the scenes it's really like a group of artists and musicians who collaborate for all kinds of stuff, and the rock band is the thing that actually makes us money, and what's that?
What was that?
We just put a book out about the 30-year history of our group. It's available at our booth, but it has the whole story if you're interested in more than this, because it seems if you're not in the know, this is a lot of information to pile on people at once. But it's a rotating group. I'd say it's more like SNL than anything else, where it's the same idea every year, but it's kind of a different cast with people that are behind it, the scenes, and the same kind of heart and sense of humor, but it's a lot of times it's a different cast.
Well, let's follow up with that. That's interesting because I had a question about how the group and the makeup of the group and how it's changed over the years, and it's constantly changing, right? How does that, I mean, I shouldn't say who's in charge, but how do you decide? Who makes the decisions? Is this kind of everybody, it's a democracy or what?
Just like all democracy, really quick.
I could see where that would be.
I think in the beginning it was a lot harder because of that. But once I always say it's like a snowball rolling down the hill. Once it got some momentum behind it, it became easier. It became harder to control, but more people wanted to be involved. So we usually have meetings where someone comes up with, well, this is our pat answer. We say to everything. There's one person comes to the meeting with a dumb idea, and then someone else says, yeah, and then they throw their dumb idea on top of it. And then 6 more people, and then it's the dumbest, biggest idea ever. And then that's where we go.
And you put a pick on it.
Yeah, and then as soon as you put a dick on it, it's successful.
And then it's called Gwar.
All right. Next question. Right here.
How long does it actually take you guys to suit up?
That's a good question.
It depends on who you're asking, really.
Guess who's the slowest?
Yeah, when I'm late to get on stage, I can do it in about 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's usually
But-
pretty quick.
Well, it's all, everybody's costume is different. You know, mine is very sparse. You know, it's just shoulder pads, boots, and mask. So it takes me a while to put on the makeup, and so about 5 minutes really.
I
But
can do it in about 10.
So do you
That's
guys
a
have
total lie.
Do you have a bunch of replacement parts for stuff that falls off?
It's called duct tape.
Yeah, that's duct taping really cool.
We allow ourselves about a half an hour before the performance to start getting ready.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
By the time you have 6 guys that try to get ready at the same time at the same moment.
Yeah, and it's usually
Half hour
like
is
still
usually good.
wet and bloody from the night before, so everybody's like, and you know, on a winter tour, you're just like, it's cold and it's nasty, so everybody's like, oh, do I have to put this on?
Sometimes we don't even have dressing rooms. We'll dress in the truck or
The alley,
in a
garbage,
in a
in the
stairwell.
stairwell,
Next to the garbage, yeah.
in the kitchen, we've done that before too.
We're doing that here. They have us in the concession stand getting dressed next to the booth. Yeah, so
Making hot
that's
dogs.
the big rock stars, you know, have a five-star hotel suite. No,
So
it's-
we'll go over and peek in on you.
yeah, it's next to the popcorn machine and the toilets.
Our favorite place to dress is near the dumpster. Yeah. Then we don't smell as bad. Yeah.
All right, next question. Over there, where were, oh yeah, yes, please stand up, sir.
Oh, what do we got?
Given your, James Wolverton with Bluegrass Blog Mixer, given your 30-year history and, let's be honest, your influence on rock and roll, what's the status of you guys getting nominated for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Seriously, that's not a joke.
Probably never.
1%.
I don't imagine Gwar would ever get nominated for Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and I don't think that's why we do it either. You know, the accolade, like it took Kiss forever. You know, Kiss obviously has 50 million fans, where Gwar has about 50,000 hardcore fans.
Iron Maiden hasn't even made it into the Rock and Roll Hall.
Yeah, it seems
Yeah.
like you'd have a better chance of getting the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame if you played any other genre but rock. Because you've seen the last couple people they've inducted, and most respects a lot of those artists, but it's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, not
Really,
not pop or rap.
And the main thing is that because we're an ensemble, you know, Kiss was fighting with them a lot about how many members. So it'd be next to impossible with Gwar because we're an ensemble, you know, and how would you select, oh, only the first guys on the first album? That wouldn't be fair at all to all the artists that were, you know, made all those costumes and played the side characters. So if we had to fight with them like Kiss did, I don't think we'd even, you know, bother.
The costumes were cool.
It would be like Gwar, if you ask Gwar, the aliens from outer space, it would be like an embarrassment if we actually got into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I did give them one. They have an original helmet I gave them for their collection because I thought that would be, you know, just a nice thing to have where we wouldn't break it, you know. So, but I don't think it's much of a chance.
Vote us in.
Start the petition now.
There was another question.
This guy had one.
Oh, right back there.
When are you guys coming back to Lexington to play a show? I missed the last one, and it's been about 17 years I saw you in Bogarts in Cincinnati.
We just played Bogarts.
Did you really?
Where were you?
Yeah.
Like 2 weeks ago.
You missed it, bro. You missed it.
The internet, check it out.
Hey man, I can't even work a damn iPhone.
We played Buster's like a couple times a few years ago. 3 times.
Yeah, I
So,
regret missing that.
I don't know, maybe we'll probably do a big tour next year.
Yeah, we're working on a new record right now, so we're kind of being lean on touring so we can stay in the studio and do all that stuff. So next
Yeah.
year, hopefully.
Yeah, normally we'd be on tour right now, and you would get the opportunity to see a Gwar show. We're always out on tour during the Halloween season, but this year, as Matt said, we're working on new music, so there'll be a new record from Gwar coming out in 2017. So this is kind of why you're getting to see us here, because we kind of have free time when we're not touring. So normally we don't do a lot of conventions, but this one's pretty fun.
Oh, thank God for that.
Next question. What we got? Right here. The end of the big story.
You think you'd ever make another long form video?
No.
Is there anyone here?
I'd be happy to explain that, because I know a lot of people are always asking me, why don't you make another Alice in Wonderland, Skullhead Face and whatnot. And the truth is, with the situation as it is, there's no profit.
Yeah, the industry's changed so much. It's not the same as it was when we were making.
We
these
lost a
movies.
lot of money for Metal Blade just doing Skullhead Face. I mean, that took forever just to sell 5,000 copies.
But it's still pretty cool.
And, you know, it cost 120 grand. So, you know, and nowadays, if you put something up, put your heart and soul into it, and somebody's gonna upload it to the internet, and everybody will have it for free anyways. So, you know.
I think we're still concentrating on Don and Bob started a documentary, kind of the origin of Gwar kind of documentary.
That would be the next.
And that's kind of in the works. We're trying to do things like that. I'm more interested in Gwar actually being able to pitch Hollywood to make the real Gwar movie, which was the actual reason these guys got together in 1985, because Hunter Jackson was making that movie. And it's really the Gwar story that's never been told. So it will be told at some point. But you know, Gwar ended up slipping into the rock genre, and that was the vehicle that we used to get Gwar's message across. So the movie kind of fell to the wayside, but I imagine that Gwar will have a full-length movie at some point.
We've been trying to do like little vignettes recently, like I don't know if you look at our Facebook page, but we did like the Puspies mailbag that we started, kind of like little 10-minute videos, and aren't we thinking about doing a Roku channel?
We are working on it. It's secretly under wraps. It's
Not anymore.
Stuff's being, well, they can't find it, so. Right now, it's listed as private, and we're uploading stuff presently, and then once we've got enough on there, we feel like, we can throw open the storeroom doors, and, people will be excited about it. Hopefully, that'll take off. We'll just keep building and adding material, small, short, long, whatever. But right now we're just uploading lots of live shows and bootlegs and things like that. Things that the hardcore Gwar fan would like to see. Here's a show from '91, in London, or here's a show from '95 in Germany, stuff like that. But
Here's Beefcake eating a sandwich.
that too. Thank you, and upload that too.
Who else had questions?
Right here.
All of y'all are Gwar fans at one point and are in Gwar now. What is your favorite Gwar song or just song performed?
My favorite Gwar song is "Slap You Around." They'll never let me play it.
Hate pub songs. That's one of my favorites.
Slaughterama, I think you ought to know this. Actually, no. I like King Queen a lot, and I probably could think of a few more if I put my head to it. I like a lot of stuff off of Violence Has Arrived and Beyond Hell. I like Go to Hell a lot. We're gonna go to hell, and I like what's that Violence Has Arrived song? The whole album.
If I could remember a song, right?
I think anything off Violence or Scumdogs for me.
Well, songs are kind of like your children. You can't really pick a favorite, but it'd probably be the first one that you wrote with Gwar. So maybe Salamanizer and something off of Scumdogs Universe. I came into the group and they had written most of the record, and I think I helped them write Salamanizer and like Sick of You and Maggots Are Falling Like Rain. So any one of those three would be good.
Yeah, I'm like Brad, man. I love all the stuff we do. It's great, except for Sex God.
But we never listen
What?
to it.
That's one.
We should
You
play
can throw
that.
that one down the toilet.
For that, Dirty Filthy too. I want to play that one.
Pocket Pool.
That's a good question. What are
Highbrow.
What are some of your all's influences then? What do you listen to?
I mean, it varies.
We're too busy writing music to listen to it.
The thing that got me into Gwar was the use of visuals and music. So before I got into Gwar, I was really a big fan of this performance band called the Butthole Surfers, which had a big influence on Gwar, but I saw Gwar with the Butthole Surfers in 1987, and it definitely made me want to be in Gwar. More because of the Butthole Surfers, but that's the kind of music I like, kind of psychedelic hardcore, which Gwar has a lot of psychedelic songs, Captain Crunch and stuff like that. That's what I like.
Yeah, I'm totally into, a lot of punk rock, rock and roll, Super Suckers, Motorhead, of course.
Antietam, 1862.
I don't like my own stuff. I can't listen to any band that I play in because that's always horrible. But some guys can't watch movies that they're in. I don't listen to my own stuff for sure. But just punk rock in general. And that's kind of why I liked Gwar, because it was kind of metal, kind of rock, kind of punk, and then it was a little bit of thrash. It was a little bit of everything. And we're able to listen to a band. Gwar is one of my influences for sure. It's just a little bit of everything and not too stuck on one central point. So, and that's what helps. The fact that you know, me and Jameson barely listen to any of the same bands, but we play in the same band. You know, it makes us different and makes us write stuff that, you know, it would be boring if all of us listened to the same thing for sure.
Yeah, Frank Sinatra all day. It's good.
I like thrash, I like punk rock. The reason I liked Gwar in the beginning was obviously the live show, but they were hilarious. And I love funny bands. I love bands that are that don't take themselves so seriously. And I was a Gwar fan, but I actually like DBX even more, which is Dave Brockie experience. It was Dave Brockie, Brad, and Mike Dirks, and all those songs are completely ridiculous.
Not appearing in this movie.
And that's the kind of stuff I like.
Yeah, we were products of the 80s hardcore that was going on from DC to Raleigh, North Carolina in the early 80s. And so Gwar, like early on, Dave's band Death Piggy, I mean, we were kind of really influenced by punk rock. I mean, Gwar becomes known as this big metal band probably because of the way we look and our costumes. But I think a lot of the guys really early on listened to the first record just sounded like a punk record to me with Crazy Monsters playing it. And of course, as time went on, you know, it's easy to just pigeonhole Gwar. But I think when we were making Scum Dogs, we were purposely trying to write a song that was making fun of metal because Gwar's whole mythos was the, you know, we've been thawed from Antarctica with all the hairspray that the poofy metal rockers in LA were using to burn a hole in the ozone, and Gwar comes along the earth, so we were out to destroy like Poison and Guns N' Roses, like we didn't really like that stuff. We're listening to Black Flag and Bad Brains, and we throw in some Judas Priest there now and then.
Cro-Mags.
Cro-Mags.
I think Gwar was originally a punk rock band that parodied metal and became what they were parodying. Because I guess we would be considered a metal band now.
Yeah, I mean, that was the discussion that me and Dave had where when Violence Has Arrived came, it was like, well, they've already said we're a metal band, we might as well just go with it, you know, like embrace it. So from there on out, we kind of did, you know, try to direct it towards the metal community.
But like to Brent's point, we all listen to different stuff, so when you go in the room, you can pretty much decide to do whatever you want. So if you listen to Gwar through the years and listen to those records and songs, we have all kinds of different insipid, stupid songs on our records. They're heavy, they're punky, they're dumb, and it's just made up of not a group of guys that are all from different areas. So I think it makes the band really interesting to play in. I like going to practice and see what we're going to come up with, because no matter what that is, it's going to sound like us, so it's going to sound like Gwar.
No matter what kind of music Gwar plays, it'll always be behind the times. We played punk when metal was big, and then we got into metal when punk made a comeback, and it just goes that way, back and forth.
And if we do write anything that's really good, we'll ruin it by putting dicks in it. Baby murdering.
Dicks make everything better.
Our failure was our greatest success.
Okay, next question. Who else has a question?
Come on, everybody, come on.
I do have one quick, oh, right here. Yes, ma'am.
From an early age, I remember my father showing me Gwar and listening to Gwar, but something that always stuck out to me was watching the videos of you guys just pulling around and seeing the costumes. What was the inspiration for the costumes? Where did the idea come from?
The movie, Scum Dogs of the Universe. Hunter Jackson was going to make that in the dairy. It's called the Milk Bottle, like I was saying when I first started working with him. And so he was making the movie, and Dave Brockie happened to be in Death Piggy, and Death Piggy happened to have a practice space in the same studio or building. And so Dave would, you know, it was kind of like an art commune. People would go around and visit each other, see what each other were up to, and Dave would see the costumes, and he talked Hunter into letting them wear the costumes and open them for themselves. So Death Piggy would throw on the costumes and play open for themselves, and they came up with this name Gwar, which Hunter didn't like. Hunter wanted to be, band name would be Scumdogs of the Universe. But as it turned out, Gwar kind of looks better on a flyer because it's only 4 letters, so you can make it a lot bigger. You know, it's a lot more readable at a distance, which is a good idea when you're putting on something that's 8.5 by 11 and stapling it to a telephone pole. But
No internet then? No
yeah,
Facebook.
no internet back then.
Yeah, just Xerox.
And you know, in fact, there wasn't even enough costumes for 3 guys the first couple times they played. So the guitarist was this character called Mr. Magico, and he wore a black cape and a top hat. Absolutely no one knew why that character was in the band, but we had to cover him up with something. So.
I think he did. He told me he did.
Yeah, he did magic when he was a kid.
No, but between Death Piggy and Gwar,
he would do magic.
He did parlor tricks for Dave to get dressed in the company.
Yeah, while they were changing over, also Mr. Magico would.
She's already so bored with the answer. She's
Yeah,
on her Facebook page. And I'm not, that was a great story, Don, but I'm interested, how old were you and your dad let you watch this, and why is he such a bad
Yeah,
father?
that's what I was gonna ask.
Tell me it was last year.
No, it's been a long time.
You were a toddler, weren't you?
I might have been.
Yeah. Look how you turned out.
Absolutely. Do you guys want to share any stories about Dave Brocking? Maybe a funny story, a funny anecdote.
They're all funny.
Oh my God,
Dude,
there's too many
he's the
funny
funniest
ones. We're
person.
here all day.
He's the funniest person ever. He lived, everything he did in life was funny, even all of his, just his daily life. I can't find my checkbook.
Where's my keys? Where's my
All
wallet?
the disaster, and he was a great artist, and he was really fun to be around, for sure.
He got obsessed with Men at Work at one point, and everyone thinks it's hilarious. I think it's hilarious because the guy that was this evil demon from outer space would get interested in the most mundane things and just go bananas with it. And I couldn't get him to answer a question, and I had to work with him every day. And I'd be like, Dave, where did you put? And he would just be, oh,
Can I ask you about something? Oh! Stop it.
I remember it was Christmas and somebody got him it was a rechargeable chainsaw. It was like a mini chainsaw. And he was so excited about it. He ran around the neighborhood. He was going through people's yards, cutting up wood for the fireplace. And I'm like, Dave, you probably shouldn't run through people's yards with a chainsaw. He's like, why? I don't understand. What do you mean? It's like, people don't like to see people in their yards with chainsaws. He couldn't understand it. No, they'll be cool with it.
He was at my house for Thanksgiving one year, and so I have a bunch of cats, and so they're walking around, and Dave's eating turkey, eating with her bare hands and stuff, and he reaches down and starts stroking my cats, and he's like, they're like little napkins that just walk around, they come right to you. It's like, don't be good. That's one of the few G-rated ones I have.
Oh yeah, so many.
You do not have to keep them G-rated, by the way. We're more than happy to hear the R-rated ones, or even NC-17.
This one time we were double teaming this nurse.
And you said the funniest thing, right?
Now, who knows the one about the Snickers bar, the frozen Snickers bar?
Stop, no.
Tell it.
You guys are a bunch of pussies.
The audience would love to hear.
I don't even know the girl, but
You wasn't there then.
I wasn't there. I wasn't even born yet. But apparently, it was.
It was Squid. It was Squid from the Lunar Tunes.
Yes.
I saw.
Oh, cool. So we're gonna name names here. That's sweet. But,
Great.
so
It's going right up on the internet.
What is it? In the song "Rock and Roll Never Felt So Good," the last line of the song or something like that is, I fucked her in the ass with a frozen piece of shit. Well, it wasn't actually shit. It was a frozen Snickers bar, which kind of looks like shit. But
Brought to you by Scarefest.
yeah.
Where you can bring your family, your daughters, Your sons. Thank you.
Imitating life or life imitating art?
Look at
Decide.
them. They just wanted a place to sit down, and they had to be subjected to that.
Did he eat the Snickers bar?
Oh, of course he did. Why wouldn't you at that point, right? You went that far, you might as well keep going.
I turned away.
Yeah. I was on tour with Dave for 20 plus years, and he would, always have people around him, he was always in the center of attention, and he always was trying to get some girl in the room or at the show or whatever. And I'd seen him with the sweetest girls, the ugliest girls, the prettiest girls, like every girl you can imagine, he probably slept with. And I asked him, I was like, Dave, it's all over the map. Like, what are the qualifications? Like, Jesus, that was a mom and her sister. Like, what are you doing? And he was like, well, they all have one thing in common. And I was like, well, what's that? And he was like, willingness. And that was his criteria. That was it. He was like, why hold back the fun? It's the funnest thing you can do. Have sex with another person. He was going to do it all the time, as many times as he could.
So he didn't have a type?
That's why even
Or
in the
threshold.
show, he had the huge cuttlefish.
But it was the same with everything. He just loved experiencing life, and so he would eat junk food, he would eat gourmet food. It didn't matter. It was just experiences, and he loved life. And he taught a lot of us a lot of things about that. So
Didn't you have a theory that actually he was an alien trapped in a human body?
yeah,
Trying to
I believe that.
experience
And he didn't even know
what
it.
it feels.
And he didn't even know it.
Did you smoke and came up with that?
It was grief. No, I think everyone here is greatly indebted to learning a lot. I can only speak for myself, but I think I'm a much bigger person. I learned a lot of things not to do as well from him. So
You're not that much bigger. Kind of small.
Spiritually.
He was Donnie Do and Donnie Don't, all wrapped up in one.
completely.
This ankle on.
At the same time, you can do it.
Yeah, he would tell me not to do something, and then like 2 weeks later, greatly encourage it.
Yeah. No, I don't know what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Or he would say, don't do that, and then he would go do it.
He
he
would
didn't
be
want
doing
it.
it while I was telling you not to do it.
he didn't want the competition.
Yeah, I was like,
That's true.
he's like, what do those pills do? He's like, well, they kind of make you feel afraid. I don't know, something. He's like, how many should I take? The guy's like, you should never take more than 2. He's like, okay, give me 3. All 3.
Next question. No.
Don't be
Yeah.
shy.
Well, okay, barbecue. I was doing some research. What's about this barbecue festival? Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
No.
I know. Tell me more about it.
Our name is on the marquee. It's
I'm
called
just
barbecue.
But I'm just trying to imagine it in my head. So if you guys could give me a little more details about it, I'd appreciate
I'll
it.
do the backstory and then Brad can.
Yeah.
We used to have a big compound where, if anyone's a big fan, we had a huge warehouse where we filmed Skullhead Face and we filmed Surf of Sin, and it had a yard. And in the 90s, we would have parties there, and they were free, and we started calling them barbecues. And they got so big and sort of out of control that we had to stop them because they just got too big, and then we lost the building.
Right.
So,
So,
pass around a hat to collect money for the keg of beer.
or people would just bring beer.
Lamb of God.
That was their first show.
First show.
Yeah.
Exotic barbecue.
Yeah. So a lot of times we wouldn't pass the hat around. We'd just say, bring beer or you can't come in. So we stopped doing it and we lost the building. And then in 2010, we decided to do it as a paid event. And I think the first year, like 600 people paid, or like close to 700 people played. And then it's grown ever since. And Brad can, don't go.
Yeah, barbecue now, we've had it, it's a full-fledged, music and food festival, and we've had it at this place, Haddad's Lake. It's kind of this old school water park in Richmond. And, we all put it together, and, there's 15 or 20 bands, every food truck, there's, rope swings and water slides and BMX bikes ramping off into the lake. It's a pretty cool, pagan fest. And, what was it? This year was the 7th annual, so when we brought it back in 2010, we just kind of saw that, hey, this is a great vehicle. we can have our own festival and we can do all the crazy Gwar stuff because we're at home that we can't really pull off on tour. Like that doesn't fit in the truck or just stuff or a one-off or we want to bring an old character back, you know, like Don doesn't tour with us anymore, Sleazy Pete Martini, but you can see him at the barbecue. So it's really like the destination festival for the true Gwar fan. And it's also a pretty cool time for the Richmond area. It's getting pretty big.
2 years ago, we had Sly Menstro back. We've had Executioner the last 3 years, and Sleazy every year. So if people are super fans and they want to see like an old lineup, that's the one place you can see it. So.
Great. One more question? All right, fine.
I'd like to thank you all for your time. I don't want to keep you here unless you want to
Thanks, guys.
hang out and talk.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Come down to the booth. The booth's down there. They're going to be here all weekend. Let's give it up. Come on, a big round of applause.
Thank you.